Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So today I'm back to do another video on GvG with a new deck that I'm playing with. This is an idea that one of my viewers, TheRiisingSun, recommended, and I gave it a try and I had pretty good success, so I wanted to feature this. So thanks to TheRiisingSun for this idea. So this is the deck that uses the Flameheart as a leader for the 400% damage and health boost for all fire heroes. And her battle skill really is the main damage dealer at 250,000% attack every 3 turns if you can match the gems. All right, and so to pair up with the Flameheart, I have 3 Vanguard Contessas that basically would delay turns by 2. So with a 5-turn cooldown and 3 cards altogether, you can really just continue the cycle as long as you can continue to match red gems. And the other card I brought in here, instead of a gem destroyer or a spawner for red gems, I'm actually bringing Bad Sector as one of the wardens that dispels Alacrity. And so Alacrity basically is a debuff that prevents you from delaying turns. And so as you can see, Alacrity really is the sort of the counter spell to this deck if you don't have this counter available. So for me, I just level up the Bat Sector. To level him up, you need a Warp Drive. I had two of them from previous events, and also so I saved them up, and I also have the Longanite shard that I got from an event, and I just purchased an Altera's Tear from the dungeon shop, from the dust shop, and I'll show you how you can do that later if you don't know how to do that. So I have Bat Sector now at 6 stars, and so this is the deck here. Given that it is using Vanguard and the Alacrity spell, if I had to give it a name, it's going to be Van-Lacrity. I'm not sure if that's going to stick, but that's what I'm going to go with for now. And let's talk about the relics here. So the relics I'm bringing in here, I have an Exultant Saber that I can at some point basically level up to the Elemental, the Flame Claymore, but for now it's going to be this. I have Raised Staff. I know that not everyone has this, but there are other options for you. This does boost all of my fire hero damages. And then I have the 2 Lance Relics from just the previous event, Vault Assault. And then I brought in also Dream Piercer that targets all Fable heroes, which the fire deck is. And it has the added bonus of reducing the Goblin defense by 50%, which works really well against Gargalang. And so you can see I had good success here with this opponent, Chad the Inhaler. I was able to defeat him, who's a power 23k opponent. And so let's go and take a look. And for my next one, I'm thinking I might go after, let's go after Ang62. All right. And so I think the way you want to do this, you want to face opponents that have Alacrity first to take advantage of your dispel. And so let's see how this works out. So this is now against an opponent that is 3,000 power higher, so I might have a harder time. But let's see how we do. And the key here is you want survivability on the first turn. You're not going to be able to take out the opponents on the first turn, but if you can at least remain, if you could, remain alive at the end of the first turn, then you have a fighting chance there. All right, so let's see. The goal here is to match gems and then to allow yourself possibilities to match gems more. It's less important for you to match the double power gems because you're going to deal a lot more damage just using Flameheart's abilities. So focus on next turn where you can continue to match red gems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match just enough and then move this here so that I could power up all of my skills. You can see now Alacrity has been dispelled, and I'm going to just go ahead and delay a turn and then see if I can take him out here. I guess I could have tried to take him out and see what happens there. You can see I've not been able to take out everything, and if you look around, okay, so remember that trick from the last video. If you just kind of move your phone a little bit, you can see the counter behind the boss. So there's 3 turns left. Let's just make sure that we can continue this here. Okay, I'm moving my red gems next to each other so that if I needed to, I could match them again, even though it's a ×4. And then I have one more turn before he's going to attack, so I'm just going to go ahead and all right. So what I'll do is I'm going to delay him one more turn, and now my goal here now is to try and get my battle gauge up because they're about ready, so I don't want to waste it. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you match your red gems as much as possible. Clear the board, clear as many boards as you could, so that you could have more chance of your gems, fire gems, falling down. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do this. Okay, and now I can just go ahead and use another battle skill here. Heal all of my health, and then move on to the next boss. Now, this is not a fast deck, but hopefully my all right, I had a little bit of a network connectivity issues, but we're back. We're now on to the second boss. So this is Gargling, and you should see later that I have my Dream Piercer that's going to reduce its defense by half, so it's going to make it a lot easier for me to defeat him. But first I'm going to just delay his turn because his defense skill is Thorns, and I really don't want to have to deal with it. So let's just go ahead and delay his turn first. And then we will go ahead and continue on our process of removing gems, matching red gems as much as possible, and dealing a little bit of damage at the same time. Okay, and you can see there now that little symbol indicates that his defense has been dropped. And then we just go and do the same thing here. And then the next one that is going to be available is this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that again. So it's just rinse and repeat. You just keep doing the same thing just to try and get more of your fire gems to be matched. And I'm going to, instead of doing this right now, I'm just going to, I think I need to match 4 gems here. So I'm going to go ahead and delay one more time, and then I'm going to, okay. And so now I'm going to try this. Okay. It works a lot better when you're using the skill against a Earth affinity hero, obviously, for added bonus. And again, I'm also fighting a harder opponent this time, so it's going to be a little tougher. So I'm going to keep making sure that I get my turn. Get my battle skill used here, and I'm also going to use this opportunity to clear as much of the board as possible. So you can see what I did there was I matched the power gems of different affinities just to clear the board a little bit more. And all right, now I'm in a little bit of a trouble here because I don't believe I have enough. Can I match 4? I can match 4. I can't match 5, can I? Okay. So I will do this, that, and okay. So I am going to be taking damage at this point. That's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, I don't deal enough damage to take him out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to not deal any damage because I don't want Thorns to take me out. So instead, I can just do this. Okay. And then I will do this one more time while putting myself in a position where I can match a lot more red gems. I'm going to use this up one more time. And let's just go ahead and do this. Okay. Oh, I should have waited one more turn. That was my fault. That was my fault. That was my fault for sure. I have one more turn, so I'm not going to take him out just yet, even though I could. Instead, what I'll do is I'm just going to do this because I want more fire gems to fall for the next time. Okay, and then go ahead and use battle skill here. Ooh, okay, so now I'm on to a much tougher boss because I have to deal with frostbite. And so first things first, let's go ahead and delay its turn. And then same thing here, try to remove as much of the gems as on the board as possible. Okay, and do it again. Now this boss is going to take a few hits for sure. So do this, that. Okay, I think in one more turn I'll be able to use, I have 4 turns there. And first use up that skill and then keep building it up. Just constantly keep building. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to... What I like about this is it really is making me have to think a little bit too. And, you know, I know that there are a lot of other decks out there that can do this much better, much faster. But for me, this is fun. This is sort of just kind of how I am, you know, working through this. And, you know, it does make me think a little bit more. I'm working really hard for it, which I'm enjoying. Go ahead and use that again. I think the next turn I'll be able to take him out. And so let's get our gems in the right spot. Okay, and then delay the turn, and then do this. Now, one key thing to note is that when you match power gems together, you're not actually going to be adding any of the gem count, so you're not going to be filling up your battle gauge if you just simply match 2 fire gems. You have to actually match them in order for that to count. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, and let's see if this is going to be enough to take him out. Okay, good. So 3 turns, and I was able to take out Frost and Bite, which is a water affinity boss that you know, that would give me a harder time. Now on to wave 4, and we have Sphinx. Okay, let's delay a turn. Okay, match a fire gem there. Good. The more gems I can remove from the board, the better it is for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this again. Okay. Good. And then one more time, delay. And then as much as possible, use the turns you have to move your red gems close to each other. And then if I can just deal the damage one more time, then I'll be good. So I'm going to leave them next to each other. Use Contessa here. Okay. And good. Okay. And then I believe I need one more fire gem. Yeah, I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And, you know, don't waste your turn. Okay, so you can see there's 2 more turns remaining, and my gems aren't really quite next to each other yet. So I'm going to just take this advantage and remove some gems and keep them, basically get more fire gems to drop. Okay, and then I'm going to use this to take him out. All right, so now I'm on to the last boss. All right, so let's go ahead and set that. Okay, if I can get free fire gem drops, that's good. Let's do that. Okay, and then do it again, same thing. Okay, good. So this one is going to give me enough to fill up my Flameheart. This will probably deal about half the damage. Good. So then that means 1 more turn and I'll be able to take her out. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay. And then just keep delaying her turn. And I think I need about 3 more gem matches. And I'll be good. Maybe 4. So I'm just going to do this. And I get 3 more on top of that. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and do an attack and get a perfect 5 out of 5 score against a 26,000 opponent. So that's it for this this episode. It went a little long because I did take a while to go through all the battles, but this is a viable deck. All right, like I said, there are definitely other better decks out there than this, but for me, this is fun. It's enjoyable, and I earned it just from grinding out the last event. So I'm having a good time with it. And thanks again to the Rising Sun for the recommendation, and hopefully this is something that you can use as well. It doesn't use any of the previous cards for the spawners. It does require you to have a card that can dispel Alacrity for the most effective, for effectiveness, but there are probably other options you can use as well. So hopefully this is helpful. Hope you enjoy it, and take care. I'll see you next time.